9 o'clock East Coast time on this Wednesday morning in America. There are three headlines. Republicans take back the House. They post significant gains in the Senate, and they take important governor seats in all corners of the country. We're now waiting for a news conference from the Speaker-designate, John Boehner. For him and his party, it was a night of history. Morning, everybody. On the morning after, we'll sleep when we're dead, they say.
Exactly. There's plenty of time for that.
That's right. I'm Bill Hemmer. Good to have you here. Nice to see you, Martha.
Good to see you again. Haven't seen you in a long time,
Right.
Bill. At least a couple of hours. Good to be here, everybody. I'm Martha McCallum. Great having you with us on this very big morning. We still have several races up in the air, folks, that are undecided at this hour. We're waiting for results in those. Let's take a look, though, at how the balance of power in the House and the Senate shakes out right now. 46 seats went to the Republicans in the Senate. We are awaiting results in Washington, Colorado, and, of course, Alaska, which we're going to talk about in just a moment.
Also in the House, 239 seats going to Republicans, well above the 218 needed for a majority, and better than the Republican Revolution of 1994. All of that last night, getting the best of John Boehner caught up in the moment.
I spent my whole life chasing the American dream. Listen, I let a lot of you know I started out mopping floors, waiting tables, and tending bar at my dad's tavern. I put myself through school, working every rotten job there was, and in every night shift I could find. And I poured my heart and soul into running a small business. And when I saw how out of touch Washington had become with the core values of this great nation, I put my name forward and ran for office. So I want to thank my wife, Debbie, my girls, Lindsay and Tricia, my 11 brothers and sisters, and all my friends and neighbors in Ohio for giving me the chance to serve and the opportunity to stand before you ready to lead. Thank all of you. God bless you, and God bless our great country. Thank you.
That from last night, now from this morning. Chris Wallace, anchor of Fox News Sunday. Good morning to you. Boehner will tell you that he cries when the wind blows, by the way.
I was going to say, I have spent time with him. That is the true, essential John Boehner.
Yeah, and many times when he gets up to give a speech, he says, I hope I can hold this one together. And last night, well, I guess you could give him marginal points for holding that together. Three moments I want to talk about. Go back to the weekend of March 20th, 7.5 months ago. This is March 20th, 2010. This is Nancy Pelosi, leaders of the House, carrying a gavel into the House chamber. This was the weekend they passed health care. How does this picture look this morning to you, Chris?
Well, look, it's still historic, and I think anybody who thinks that when the president holds his news conference this afternoon, he's going to talk about compromising on health care, forget it. That is the signature accomplishment of this administration. It's something that Democrats have been trying to accomplish for half a century. They may go off on the margins and say, all right, let's include tort reform, but the basic idea of insuring 33 million people, and Republicans, that's going to be the pitch battle, because an awful lot of Republicans were elected to repeal and replace. They're going to fight that tooth and nail. I think there could be compromises in some areas, not on health care.
You do. That's the next question here. Apparently, John Boehner, Mitch McConnell both had conversations with Barack Obama last night. Has he shown the desire or the willingness to compromise yet?
No, but I mean, well, I mean, he's always talked the game. He hasn't really done it, and I think the key narrative of the last 2 years has been that when it came to the stimulus, when it came to health care, when it came to financial reform, yes, they tried to engage Republicans, and you can argue there are two sides to this story, but in the end, they had the votes and they rammed these things through. If he doesn't learn a lesson from last night, he's a lot slower than I think he is. I mean, the American people spoke, and they spoke with great clarity, and also just politically, whether he means it or not, he's got to find areas, as do Republicans, where they can do some business and get things done. This was no great mandate for Republicans last night either.
They put the lid on the White House. Any reaction, I think, stopped about 9 o'clock Eastern time and said nothing more from us tonight. You will hear from him today at 1 o'clock this afternoon. Now the governor's races. And there's a reason why they are so critical the way they went last night. Pennsylvania flips. Ohio flips. In fact, here's John Kasich from late last night in the Buckeye State after he declared victory.
Folks, we took a step forward tonight to putting Ohioans back to work. We took a step forward to shrinking government and making it work better. We took a step forward to making Ohio the best place to live and work in the country.
It was a very close race, and many will tell you it's hard to knock off an incumbent governor holding office. Ohio, Pennsylvania, New Mexico, Wisconsin, Michigan, South Carolina, all now Republican governors in each of those states. Why is it so critical when you look toward 2012?
Well, I was going to say two reasons. First of all, to 2011, redistricting. We remember that census where we all had to fill in those forms. Now the state legislatures in all of those states, every state, is going to redistrict, and a number of those states are picking up or in some cases losing. The governors in 46 of the 50 states have veto power, so they have tremendous control over redistricting. And, you know, how you draw the congressional lines can oftentimes determine whether it's a Republican or Democrat who wins. So Republicans in those states will be able to solidify their gains. The other thing, and I can say this from years of covering presidential campaigns, when you're the candidate of your party and you walk down the gangplank, or walk down the staircase from the airplane, and there's a governor of your party there with all the machinery, all of the personnel of a state government that's at your support, at your back, it gives you an enormous boost. And, you know, now think of these states like Ohio, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, all of these swing states in the Midwest.
They determine national elections.
Absolutely.
They determine who goes to the White House.
Barack Obama is going to be going into enemy territory, and the GOP presidential nominee is going to be going into friendly territory. And just real quickly, one other point I want to make. Think of the Obama map in 2008 and how he expanded it, you know, from the blue states on the two coasts, Florida and Ohio, Indiana, Virginia, yes, North Carolina. That map has been shrunk. We're back to the Al Gore, John Kerry presidential map, and all of the president's effort to redefine blue states and red states went out the window last night.
It's great to get your analysis. Thank you, Chris. Chris Wallace, host of Fox News Sunday.